Welcome everyone to Gentle Yoga, coming from Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center. I'm Leo Bray teaching today, and I'll say this again at the end for anybody that starts late or shows up late, but you can find us online at urbanyoga.org or on Facebook at Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center, and there are tip jar mechanisms there. You can contribute to support our Zoom classes via Zelle or Venmo or PayPal. So welcome to Gentle Yoga. Here's someone else joining. Come on in. Just in time. We'll start today in a reclined posture. You're going to bring the soles of your feet together and have your knees splayed out and lie down on your back. If it's easier for you to lie down on your back and then bring your legs into that position, that's fine too. If you have yoga blocks handy, you might put the blocks between the outside of your legs and the floor to support your legs. That's another option. And if this isn't comfortable to have your legs like this, you might just rest the soles of your feet on the ground. Maybe your knees lean in towards each other. Sometimes it's too much in the hips to have the knees out like that. Your hands can simply rest on the floor, or if you like, rest on your body. Maybe feel your heartbeat. Maybe feel your breath. Maybe one hand for each, one on the belly, one on the heart. Close your eyes if you like. Focus on your breathing to get started. The process of just allowing it the time and the space to slow down and get deeper. All it takes is noticing the breath to start changing it. Observing the movements of your breathing and the way those movements feel. Noticing where you feel the inhale, where you feel the exhale, how those sensations change as the breath continues getting deeper and slower. And as your body settles into this comfortable stillness, muscles gently relaxing down, a little closer to the ground with each exhale perhaps. Start to expand your observations beyond the central focus of the breathing and its movements, and just notice whatever sensations are present for you right now in your physical body, taking in the good and the bad, scanning yourself, checking in with yourself, and take particular note of anything that you wished felt different, anything you might deem negative, any soreness, any stiffness. Making note of these things so that you can keep them in mind as we practice. And please remember, as always with me, you have the freedom to skip or modify any portion of the practice. And I'll even go so far as to you have that freedom in any practice, in any class, even if the instructor doesn't say it, because it's your body. Only you can listen to it. We're all different. By listening to our bodies, taking what we need, leaving the rest, modifying as needed, we can each find the practice that's best for us. And when during practice your mind wanders, you find that you've slipped in focusing on your breathing and noticing what's going on in your body, just gently redirect, come back to that center, back to observing. Cultivating what in yoga we call the witness self, witnessing yourself, watching yourself, to take care of yourself. If in addition to these shared intentions, you wish to set your own personal intention for your practice, tripping over my words, maybe you have something more specific to you that you'd like to keep in mind as something to focus on, something to remember when your mind wanders. Let that intention come together and really sink in for a few breaths, maybe repeating it in your mind, maybe repeating it out loud if you like. And with our shared and personal intentions in place, before we start to move around, let's share 3 deep cleansing breaths. Breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth with a sighing sound. And let your arms help your legs come out of this position. If you've got your knees splayed open, bring your hands to the outside of your legs and use your arms to nudge your knees towards each other. Let the soles of your feet land on the floor, knees pointing up. If you had blocks there under your legs, give the blocks a shove, knock them towards your toes so they don't get in the way of this twist we're going to do. Bring both knees to your chest first. Hug your knees. Rock and roll on your back for a few breaths. Massage your back against the floor. And we'll take our twists. Twist. Hold your right knee. Extend and lower your left leg down along the ground. And then reach your right arm out to the side. Feel your shoulder blades press to the ground. We want to keep the shoulder blades on the ground. Draw your knee over to the left and turn your head to the right. And just see how far the leg wants to go while still keeping the shoulders grounded. You don't have to go as far as you possibly can. Go as far as what feels like enough. Place of sufficiency for you. And slowly bring your knee back to center. We'll switch legs. Draw your left knee in. Hold on to it. Extend and lower your right leg. Extend and lower your left arm. Draw your knee over to the right and turn your head to the left. Bring your head and your knee back to center. Draw both knees in. Inhale, reach your feet and hands towards the ceiling. Exhale, draw your knees towards your chest, draw your elbows to the floor, fingertips up. And take a few more breaths like that. Inhale, reach out. And exhale, come down. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Let's do one more. And we're going to start to sit up. 2 ways you might go. You can hug your knees and roll front to back. Roll your spine along the floor. But not everyone likes to do this. If you don't like to do that, instead you could tip onto one hip and press up to a seat like that. Because not everybody likes this rolling, but I do. We'll all meet sitting up here. Sitting up nice and tall, feel the grounding contact in your seat. Think of the length of your spine. Think of the crown of your head reaching for the ceiling. Let your chin fall towards your chest. And we'll make some nice slow circles. Roll your ear towards your shoulder and let your head tip back. Other ear towards the other shoulder. Chin back through center. And just go as slowly as you can. Sometimes the challenge is to slow down. For some folks, Shavasana, being still at the end of practice, is the most difficult pose. At some point, you want to change direction, take some circles the other way. So maybe you're not going as slow as I am. Maybe you're going slower. Slowly is a relative term. When you finish the next circle, we'll look forward again. We'll take some seated cow and cat movements. Inhale, bring your heart forward, let your head tip back. Exhale, draw your heart back, let your head tip forward. Take a few more, see if you can use the whole inhale to come forward. Use the whole exhale to go back. And after your next exhale, sit up again. We'll do some little work here with the legs and feet. I'm backing up because I realized my feet were out of frame on the video there. So it looks like we're all sitting, maybe cross-legged. Grab one leg. I'm grabbing the one that's in front. We're going to do both, so it doesn't matter which one you start with. And support your leg with your arm. So let the leg be limp, let the foot be limp, and then smush your fingers in between your toes. Interlace your fingers between your toes. And let your arm roll your ankle in some nice, slow, gentle circles. Taking a few in each direction. Nice little bit of acupressure here, pressing hands to feet. And the gentle opening of the ankle joint. Then release your toes. Use both arms to support your leg. So I'm going to cradle my leg like that because that's what works for me. But however you want to hold your leg, whatever works for you and your limbs. Everybody's arms and legs are different lengths, different proportions. Let the whole leg hang in the socket. And we're going to make circles like that, rocking your femur in your hip socket. Ball and socket joint, biggest joint in the human skeleton is the hip. Maybe you feel the circles grow a little bigger. Let's take some in each direction. And then we'll let that leg down and do the other one. Support the weight of your leg with your arm. Get your fingers in between the toes. And make those nice slow circles. Rolling your foot around, opening up the ankle. Changing direction at some point. You may or may not get those clicking sounds. I'm told that's tendonitis in this ankle. Doesn't hurt. Release your toes. Cradle your leg. Make some nice slow circles with your leg. The joys of the aging process. The joint crispies. Snap, crackle, pop. Change direction. Maybe you did already. And let that leg down. Find the height in your spine again. Rest your fingertips on the ground, staying tall. Inhaling, lift your right arm up alongside your ear. As you exhale, reach across to the left. On an inhale, come upright. As you exhale, come into a twist. Bring that hand behind you and the other hand across to your opposite leg. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, see about twisting some more. Just asking your body on each exhale if it wants to go further, if there's room to go further. Or maybe you already found the place that feels like enough. Let yourself unwind from the twist, come back through center. Inhaling, lift the other arm. Then exhaling, reach across. Feel for length all the way from your hip up through your fingertips. Let your head be wherever your neck is comfortable. Inhale to bring yourself upright. And as you exhale, come into your twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Let yourself unwind, come back to center. And take a real simple forward fold. Rest your hands in front of you. Then just walk them forward as far as you can. Let your head come down towards the floor and breathe into your lower back. Inhaling, walk your hands back in. Press up to a seat. And you're going to make our way up onto our hands and knees so you can tip to one hip. Spin the legs around, plant your hands. Open your hands way up. Feel your whole palm grab the floor. Shoulders go above the wrists. Hips go above the knees. And we did cow and cat breaths seated, but they feel differently when you do them from here. So we'll do a few here as well. Inhale, bring your heart forward. Let your head and tailbone go up. Exhale, bring your heart up. Let your head and tailbone come down. As before, following the pace of your own breath. Using the whole inhale to bring your heart forward. And the whole exhale to bring your heart up. Because of the way your spine is curved, even if you're just focusing on the heart movement, the other movement simply happens. Thanks to the lovely curves of the spine. And then just let yourself explore movement from here on your hands and knees. Whatever movement your body seems to want. Maybe you wag your tail. Maybe you drift in circles. Maybe it's a more serpentine or really random kind of movement. Dear friend and colleague Becky Thompson, the first teacher to inspire me to think about teaching when I was first taking classes at a YMCA near my house in Boston. When she did this, she would say, I think it was, imagine your limbs like seaweed floating in warm water. She had all these beautiful images to go with her cues. Very poetic sometimes. The great thing about exploring movement is there's no wrong way to do it. You just feel into what your body wants. When we first wake up in the morning, we all stretch. We don't really think about it. We're just listening to our body. And By becoming quiet, focusing in practice, we can tune into that body awareness again. In the next couple of breaths, wrap up your explorations, then come back to table. Reach your right foot back, press into the ball of your foot. Send your heel out away from your tailbone. Let that leg get longer. On an inhale, reach your left hand forward, thumb up, fingertips reaching for the opposite wall. If you want to go further, inhale, pick that right foot up, reach straight back like you want to make a footprint on the wall. To go even further, you might bend that raised leg, reach that raised hand back, and maybe you can grab your foot or your ankle and kick against your hand, lift your knee and lift your gaze, opening your shoulder in the midline and stretching the right quads. Release and lower down. Everybody got the bind. Very good. Sometimes we don't. There was a time I couldn't do that. Reach back, press into the ball of your left foot, take a couple breaths. I used to just flail around with my hands and knowing I had a foot back there somewhere, but not being able to connect with it. With your next inhale, reach your right arm forward. On an inhale, if you like, pick the left foot up, reach straight back through the sole of your foot. Bend your leg if you like, reach back, see about the bind. Take that additional stretching if you connect. Sometimes we can get a bind on one side and not on the other. Everybody's got it today on both sides. Release, lower down. Bring your big toes to touch. We'll make our way to child's pose. Maybe you widen your knees. If your knees are sensitive, it might be better to keep them closer. Sit back towards your heels. Walk your hands forward, let your head come down to the ground. If your head doesn't reach the ground, you might stack your hands and rest your forehead on your hands, or rest your forehead on a yoga block. You might choose to reach your hands back by your feet instead. Let your shoulders disengage. Feeling the expansion in your upper body when you breathe in. And feel for a settling down in the hips when you breathe out. Maybe your tailbone goes a little lower on the exhale. If you reach your hands back, reach them forward again. And let's inhale, come forward and up, back to table, back up on the hands and knees. Step your right foot up between your hands. You could put blocks under your hands here if you like to give yourself more room there to move the leg, and if you've got blocks, of course. Bring your hands to your knee. You come up onto one foot and one knee. And find steadiness. If you feel a little wobbly, adjust the placement of your foot or the placement of your knee till you feel steadier. Visual cues that can help you be steady is having the front knee above the front ankle and having the back hip above the back knee and having that back leg behind the knee. If the foot is off to one side, you're going to be less steady there. Exhale, sink forward in your hips. Inhale, glide back. And see if you can keep your shoulders mostly above your hips, keeping your torso upright. There can be a tendency to kind of lean forward, just feeling into the hips. And then you might add in arm movements. You can lift one arm or both. You can always keep one hand on your knee for steadiness. And as you rock forward, you can bring your arms down either to like cactus arms with the elbows bent, Or lower your arms parallel to the ground, palms down, and when you come up, turn your palms in. You can always change your mind, bring right hand back to the right knee. If you start to topple. And from the top of that movement, now let's twist. You can reach your right hand forward, reach your left hand back. And again, if you feel unsteady here, right hand can always find the right leg and steady yourself there. You come back through center, maybe arms up or maybe hands at the heart, and twist the other way. Left hand forward, right hand back. Pull left hand to right leg for steadying. Come back through center, arms up or hands to heart. Exhale, bring your hands down. And now step your right knee back to the ground and step your left foot forward. Bring your hands to your leg, lift your torso. And we'll do the same thing. Exhale, sink forward. Inhale, glide back. Add in the arm movement when and if you like. And let's twist. So first we'll go to the right. Take a good full breath or two in the twist. Come through center and twist to your left. Come back through center. Exhale, lower your hands. And let's step the right foot forward to meet the left and hang out in forward fold. Letting your head and your arms hang. You might have blocks under your hands. Your hands might hang in the air or drag on the ground. What Becky would call finger painting on the ground. Other options here, you might grasp your elbows, bind in the arms, or clasp your hands at the base of your skull. Let the weight of your arms give some traction to your neck. Bending and straightening your legs, swaying back and forth. If you're clasping your hands or clasping your elbows, let your hands hang down again. And nice and slowly shake your head no. And nod your head yes. Inhale to lift up halfway. Exhale to fold down. Inhale, roll to standing, hands up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Let your hands hang at your sides. Raise your right shoulder towards your ear. Shift it back and let it down. And then your left shoulder up and back and down. Inhale, reach out toward the walls. Exhaling, reach for your shoulder blades and hug yourself. Or if you like, you could take eagle arms. You can intertwine your arms and press your palms together. If you take eagle, then you can lift your elbows and your hands up and out, away from your face, away from your chest. Further opening that big space between the shoulder blades, the back of your heart space. On an inhale, spread your wings. And as you exhale, cross your arms the other way, reaching for your shoulder blades or taking opposite eagle. Big, deep breaths. Inhale, open your arms. Exhale, let your arms come down. Inhale your arms out and up overhead. Interlace your fingers. Flip your palms up. Look up at your hands. Lift up your heart. On an inhale, bring yourself upright. As you exhale, bend to the left. Feel for length through both arms. Try to keep the right heel on the ground and try to keep the right shoulder back. Sometimes the right shoulder here might want to curl forward past your ear. Keep it back in line with the ear. Maybe look forward in your peripheral vision like I'm doing. Inhale to come upright. Exhale to bend to your right. Keeping the left shoulder back. Keeping left heel grounded. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, let your arms come down. Inhale, out and up. Exhale, hands to heart. Interlace your fingers. Reach your palms out in front of you. Raise your arms up overhead. Bring them back down in front. Bring your hands back to your heart. Inhale, up through center. Exhale, out and down. And go through that same series of movements a couple more times. Out and up. Hands to heart. Maybe interlace the opposite way now. Reach your palms forward. Lift them up overhead. Lower them down in front. Bring your hands to your heart. Back up through center. Out and down again. One more time. Really nice feeling, I think, for this series of movements. Feels great throughout shoulders, arms, hands. Good. We'll start into a little sun salutations. I say a little because it's gentle class. We won't get crazy. I'm not going to leave you in plank for a minute or down dog for a minute. Let sun salutations nice and gently. Inhale, out and up. Exhale, fold down. And we're not going to do 20 of them either. Inhale, come halfway up. That's not gentle. 20 sun salutations. Exhale, down. Plant your hands and step back to plank. If you want a shorter plank, you're welcome to let your knees down. Take the shorter plank. Just find the plank shape long enough to really find it. Feel it. Then exhale, lower all the way down. Just see how slow you can go. All the way down. Untuck the toes, rest the chin. Press into your hands. Inhale to lift your head and chest. Maybe just a low cobra. Elbows drawing in towards each other. Exhale, relax down. Take a breath before we go. Do that again and move on. Press into your hands. Inhale, lift your head and chest. Exhale, rock back through table. Curl your toes under. Press into your feet to lift your knees. Press into your hands to lift your tailbone. Downward facing dog. Just a short walk. Walk the dog. Pedal your feet up and down. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, come down. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, come down. Plant your hands, step back to your plank. And when you're ready, exhaling, maybe just lower halfway this time. Inhale, bring your heart forward, cobra, or maybe upward dog if you like. Exhale, back and up to downward dog, pass through table if you wish. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, Step forward. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, come down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale up, this is the last one. Exhale down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale down. We're not even going to go all the way through it, actually. Step back to your plank. And when you're ready, exhaling lower. Inhaling, bring your heart forward. Exhale, back and up. Take 3 cleansing breaths. Let your knees down and make your way to child's pose. Have another short break. Vary your child's pose however you want. Maybe it's more active, maybe it's more passive. Can you detect a difference in how this child's pose feels compared to the previous child's pose? Maybe scanning your whole body again, maybe checking in with your intention. Bring your hands forward again if they're reaching back by your feet. Inhale, come up onto your hands and knees. And we're going to do some stretching now for the feet and the hands. So first we'll set up the feet. Curl your toes under, pressing into your toes, maybe into the balls of your feet. Walk your hands in towards your knees. So you come up, you're standing on your knees, your feet are engaged, and sit back toward your heels. Now I say toward. I'm going to sit on my heels because I can and it feels good. You want to find the right height for you. So this creates a lot of sensation in the feet. It's a deep stretch. You can regulate how much sensation by how high you are. So maybe here is where it's right for you. You can always come up a little more, come down. You could put a block, a bolster, a pillow, a folded blanket between your butt and your heels. Me, I've done this a lot and this feels good to sit right back on my heels. But you decide what you and your feet want here, how much of a stretch. And then we'll stretch the hands while we do this. Reach your right hand in front of you with your palm up. And we're going to take 1 breath per finger. So hold your right pinky with your left hand. Inhale, gently draw your pinky out. Exhale, gently draw your pinky down, opening your palm and your wrist. So we just do that 1 breath for each finger. Go to the ring finger, inhale. Exhale. And now you can estimate how long you're going to be stretching your feet like this, because you know how many fingers you have. 10 breaths. I don't think we have any exceptions to that. One of these days, I'll have someone in class that's missing a digit. When you finish the thumb, raise the left hand. 1 breath per finger. Inhale, draw out. Exhale, draw down. You can always adjust the height of your seat if you find it's become too much in your feet. Believe me, when I first did this, I was not sitting right on my heels like this. This is one of my favorite stretches now. I did not find it pleasant when I first tried it, full disclosure. The best part is coming up. After you've done that second thumb, the counter pose. You tip onto your hands, untuck your toes, and bang your feet on the ground. And it feels so good. You don't have to bang them hard, but that's what my feet like. Harder, soft, slower, fast. This is particularly fun when there's like a real estate office on the floor under the yoga studio. I miss that place. I don't think the Coldwell Banker folks miss me. Now cross your ankles. Walk your hands in towards you. You're going to rock over your ankles. If that's too much, you could tip onto one hip and spin to a seat. So we're going to come sitting up with the legs extended out in front of you and your feet flexed back towards you. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. As you exhale, fold down over your legs. If your knees want to bend, just let them bend. Explore with your breath to see about deepening the fold. Inhale, think of the crown of your head reaching forward. Exhale, think of lowering some more. Try to resist grabbing onto your legs or feet and using your arms to yank yourself down into the fold. It's more beneficial to let your breath do the work of deepening the fold. I could grab my feet and yank myself forward. That's not being very kind to my body. The body appreciates invitations so much more than orders. Inhaling, walk your hands up the front of your legs, let your arms help you sit up. Let me reorient myself here for the next series. So let your arms help your legs to open out to whatever degree works for you, the edge of your comfort zone. My legs used to not go this far. Maybe yours go way farther than mine. One of our regulars' legs go way out like this. Everybody's different. Let your arms keep helping your legs. Bend your left leg. Bring your left foot over by your right thigh or right knee. Sort of like tree pose in the legs. And then pivot your torso. Aim your torso at your right foot. Flex your right foot towards you. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. As you exhale, fold over that extended leg. And explore with the breath again. Inhale, think of the crown of your head coming forward. Exhale, think of lowering a little more. Maybe they're just thoughts. Maybe there's a little movement. Maybe there's a deeper sensation of release. I'm going to explore some variation with the arms here. First, a new one. My partner just suggested the other day. We practice together almost every day. And I often get inspiration from students. Keep your left hand there. Reach your right hand out to the side. Turn your head towards your hand. You'll find when you turn your head, your hand might go further. If you want, you could bend your arm and fold it across your low back and peel your right shoulder back and look up. It's kind of involved. It gets into a lot of places at once. I like how it feels in the left shoulder, the arm that's not bent. Extend the arm again. Take your time to bring it back over so your hands are next to each other. So now we're going to move the other one. Bring your left hand in towards your heart and reach it out to the side. This part we've done before. That part was new. First time on Zoom with that move. Rotate your hand so your palm is down, your palm is back, your thumb is down. That's the sequence. Fold your arm across your low back. Maybe your hand comes to rest by your sacrum. And then peel that shoulder back. Extend the arm again. Undo the rotation. And now reach up alongside your ear and reach that hand over in the direction of the other hand. And this gets into compression in the middle of the lower back, right above your sacrum, an area that gets compressed when we're sitting a lot. And most of us are sitting more these days, so this is a good thing to do every day. I think I've included this in almost every class since late March, when everything moved on to Zoom. Reach up again and out again. Bring your hand through center again and over by the other hand. And walk your hands up the front of your leg to sit yourself up. Let your arms help your legs. Extend your left leg and bend the right one. Bring the foot across. Pivot your torso, aim your sternum at your left foot, and flex your left foot back towards you. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, think of lengthening. Exhale, think of lowering. And slowly extend your left arm out to the side and look towards your hand. If you like, bend your arm, fold it across your back, and peel that left shoulder back. If you're taking that half line, slowly extend. And bring the left hand back over by the right. Bring your right hand in through heart, out to the side. Rotate 180 degrees back. Bring your arm across your back. Peel your right shoulder back. Some really nice diagonal stretching across the back here. Nice stuff happening in the outer hips, line from sacrum to hips. Love a good complex stretch. Extend your arm again. Rotate your palm forward. Reach up and over. Maybe think of sending your breath right to that spot above your sacrum. Rewind the arm, reach up, reach out, back through center, over to that left leg or left foot. Walk your hands up your leg. Use your arms, lengthen this leg out, nudge your legs towards each other, and bring the soles of your feet together. A good distance away from you, so there's a big space here between your heels and your pelvis. If you can, slide your hands under your ankles and grab the floor. If not, it's okay. Reach over your ankles and grab the floor. That's fine. Walk your hands forward, using the traction of your arms to bring you down into this pretzel fold. Let your neck relax, let your head bow down. Breathing into the same spot in the center of the low back. Now lengthening it laterally instead of diagonally. Start to walk your hands back, push up to a seat. Reorient myself for this last fold. Now with the soles of your feet still together, bring them in real close to your pelvis. Interlace your fingers, grab the tops of your toes, and yes, wriggle on your seat. Bring the bones in your seat closer to the ground and tilt your pelvis. This is a very common one, you can tell, because everybody starts to get ahead of what you're saying. Much more common than the previous fold. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward, keep your spine long at first. See how far down the long spine will go, wherever that is. When it stops lowering, then let the neck go. And breathe into your hips. And you might press your arms to the inside of your legs and nudge your hips open further. Many of us like to do that, depending on how you feel and where your arms are landing. Inhale, slowly sit yourself up. Let your arms help your legs. Nudge your knees towards each other. Rest your feet on the ground. Rest your hands on the ground. Wiggle your feet further apart, maybe to the edges of your mat if you're on a mat, and let your knees go back and forth. Taking a little tour of the space you cleared in your hips. And then you can bring your hands behind you. Make sure your strap is within reach. Plant your feet, hands behind you, lower down onto your forearms and down onto your back. And then bring your knees towards your chest, grab your strap. You want to open the strap up so you have one end of each hand and you're running the strap under the balls of your feet or just below the balls of your feet. Some people like to have their strap in a loop. That's fine. You can have your strap in a loop too. I like to keep mine open, but a loop works just fine. Reach your feet up towards the ceiling. Now we want long arms, long legs, long strap, and we want to stay grounded. So your shoulder blades, your sacrum, and the back of your head on the ground. Don't mind me repositioning myself here. I'll make sure everything's in frame on the camera and I don't kick over any of the decorations I got going on here. So grounded in the back of the head, shoulder blades and sacrum, long legs, long arms, long strap. Point your toes up at the ceiling. Nice full leg stretch. Point your toes down towards your face. Let your feet relax. Slowly slide your feet away from each other, keeping them inside the strap. Just however far they want to go. Take a couple breaths at your furthest point, wherever it is. Arms are long, strap is long, legs are long. Back still grounded, shoulder blades, back of head and sacrum. And then gently draw on the strap to let your feet slide slowly back in towards each other. I just realized my mistake in my alignment here. I'm going to spin 90 degrees. That was a calculation error. Now, take your left foot out of the strap. Press the back of your left leg to the ground. So right leg's up, left leg's down. Hold the strap with your left hand. Reach your right arm over to the side. Keep your shoulder blades grounded. Now your sacrum's going to lift away from the ground. Let your leg come over to the left, gently guiding it over with the strap, and turn your head to the right. And it doesn't matter how far the leg goes. Stay grounded in the shoulders and see where the leg wants to go. Maybe on the exhales, you feel that leg lower a little more. So the strap is for guidance, for assistance. It's not to force anything. Just keeping enough tension there. Just enough to keep the leg active and supported. And slowly bring your head and your leg back through center. I'm going to keep playing with alignment. For the camera here, I'll try this one. So now, take the strap in your right hand, press your left hand down on the front of your left hip bone. Let your arm and your leg fall over to the right. But keep that left hip anchored. Keep that left cheek on the ground. And again, just seeing how far the leg wants to go. Some days my leg will come down and touch the ground. Some days it doesn't. When we come out of this one, we'll want to go very gently and slowly. So really take your time to bring those limbs back up to center. Then lift your left leg, step your left foot back into the strap. Take your right foot out and lower your right leg down. Reach your left arm out to the side. Bring your limbs over to the right and turn your head to the left. And try to stay grounded in your shoulders. Come slowly back up to center. Switch hands on the strap. Press your right hand down on the front of your right hip bone and allow your limbs to just fall open to the left. Keeping the right hip down, the right cheek on the ground. Gently bring your limbs back to center. Raise your right leg. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Set your strap aside. Hug your knees. Rock and roll on your back. Massage your back against the floor. Reach your feet towards the ceiling. Reach your hands up. Take hold of your legs or your feet wherever you like and play with bending and straightening your arms and legs, exploring movement in happy baby pose. Or if you would prefer some other inversion, please invert in any way you like. And you can invert for as long as you like. I like to go for at least a minute or so myself. Maybe you want longer. Maybe you've had enough already. When you feel complete with your inversion, you can make your way to Shavasana or an alternate resting pose of your choice. So the classic or standard way we conclude practice is corpse pose. Legs extended, feet splayed open, hands at your sides. It's more important to be comfortable than to be in this posture. If your low back doesn't like to be lying flat like this, you can support your low back by planting your feet, letting your knees lean towards each other. You might decide to come back to where you started practice with the soles of your feet together, your knees splayed. You can conclude the way you began. You might scoot over by the furniture or the wall and put your legs up on the furniture or the wall. Continue inverting. Find your comfortable stillness. Close your eyes if you like. Again, letting your breath slow down, just as we did at the start of our time together. Perhaps focusing on the breath itself as a simple meditation, or reflecting on the intention you had set, or maybe just letting your mind go where it will. No target at all, no goal at all. Letting thoughts come and go like clouds on the breeze. Letting remaining excess tension melt away into the ground with each exhale. Start to find some deeper breaths. You were breathing deeply, but when they're intentional, they're even deeper. As you're ready, let your body begin to move around bit by bit, starting out with small movements, letting your movements gradually grow bigger and bigger, moving mindfully. There's no rush. When you're ready, gently sit yourself up. If you like, bring your hands up by your heart. Thank you for sharing in practice today. The light within me sees and bows to that same light in each of you. Namaste. Once again, I'm Leo Gray here for Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center, here at Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center today. I'll be in the park tomorrow, but also on Zoom at 8:15 a.m. Pacific, Ruth Hardy Park, northeast corner, if you want to join me in person at a safe distance and bring your mask and all. Check out the rest of our class schedule. We have classes every day with several different teachers available. urbanyoga.org or Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center on Facebook. And of course, there's a tip jar there where you can contribute to support our Zoom classes via PayPal or Venmo or Zelle. I almost said pen pal, that's different. That's writing to a friend. You can write to a friend if you want. Thank you